What's up? What's up? It's your boy Mean Joe Green, aka Prince of the Ghetto. Y'all, I want to talk about this Mississippi pastor from Jackson, Mississippi, over there on Robinson Street. That's like the other city from where I live. And it was this woman. She went on there and gave her testimony of how that pastor and that church organization tried to control her. And she said a lot of disturbing things, man, but I'm just gonna piggyback on some of the stuff that she was talking about. You know, she said that at this church, she was required to seek permission for everything, for all her decisions. And she said that the women, they all was to call that pastor daddy. Now picture that, your pastor, you a female, and your pastor telling you that you have to call him daddy. I'm getting pimp vibes out of this. And then she said that, you know, they had to ask the pastor for everything. They had to ask daddy for everything. She said she had to ask him. It got to the point she had to ask him, could I go to the store? Could I buy my friend something for her birthday? You know what I'm saying? She said she had to ask him, can I order this offline? She said almost for everything. Can I eat this? What do that sound like to y'all? What type of pastor and organization church is that? Where the women had to ask their pastor, named daddy, for everything. He wanted control over everything out of her. And she was saying things like, you know, she was talking like, you know, he was putting spiritual on everything. She thinking like, okay, she don't want to go to hell. So she thinking that she had to do what he say because he was the pastor. But look what the image he put in her head that he wanted her to call him daddy. I'm getting pimp vibes. And then she said that, you know, she started losing family. She said she started getting depressed. And she was like, man, I'm losing family over this because she giving him all her time, and she had to get permission for everything. And guess what she said this pastor told her? She said that pastor told her that this is normal. She said when they went to the next service, the pastor told all the women in there, who all lost family in here, raise your hand. And she said almost everybody in there raised their hand. So she said she looking around like, okay, well, this must be normal, you know, to lose family over this religion. Because all she wanted to do was do the right thing and go to heaven. That's what she was saying. That's what she was telling herself, rather. And she was like, yeah. And then it was a woman deacon that he used to get her to, you know, to throw in her 2 cents, like, yeah, do it this way, do it that way. And she said any woman problem that she had, she couldn't go to that woman. She had to go to daddy, the pastor. For all her women questions, she had to go through him. And man, she was, you know what I'm saying? She was like, damn, you know. But like I say, like she said, she thinking this normal, this the right thing to do in that congregation. And she said it got to the point that every time she started asking him, could she do this and that, he started wanting to ride with her, to go to different places when she go handle her business. So she said if she wanted to go to the store, he had to go with her. And she said, you know, it was just uncomfortable. But also she saying like she thinking she was doing the right thing. She was saying stuff like, I never had a daddy, so I'm looking at him like a father figure. But the whole time he was just straight controlling, man. And once again, I'm getting pimp vibes. And then she said, one day when they was riding, she said that he asked her, let me see your phone. And she said she gave him the phone, and he started going through her phone, through all her personal stuff. And he saw some old naked pictures of her. And he was just sitting there gazing at them, watching them, just going through them. And she said she was trying to snatch her phone, and he was like, you don't do that to daddy. I'm authority. And she said she was just so uncomfortable and feeling so out of whack, and she said it was just unbelievable. But the whole time, she said he kept putting spiritual on it, talking about most things that they did, they had to keep it secret to, because it was the way of God to be spiritual. And I'm like, man, this dude here, once again, pimp vibes. And she said whenever she bought new clothes, she'll have to wear it in front of him. He'll tell her to bend over to see if it fit right. And she said she was uncomfortable with that. He looking all up her ass and stuff, making sure the rubbing on, make sure the clothes fit perfectly how he wanted to fit. In the name of Jesus, as he would tell her. But man, pimp vibes. Pimp daddy, that's what he should have told them to call her. Because that's what he was, a pimp pastor. But man, let me tell y'all something, man. I've been thinking, do y'all think some churches are ruled by the devil? Because you know the devil, he know the word too. You understand what I'm saying? So do you think some pastors be serving for the devil, and they just use God as disguise? Because you know they don't say God's name, they just say God. But do you think like the devil can be over that church, and he using that pastor to use them, and he giving them the worldly ways of the devil, and they thinking they praising God, but the whole time they being tricked and they praising the devil? That's just what I be thinking, man. Because you know, back in the days, you remember in that temple, a lot of people were praising that golden calf, and they were calling it God. So a lot of people have to be, you know, careful of saying God, because a lot of people be praising other things and saying it's God. I always say sometimes your God might not be the God I talk to, which is the reason why a lot of people don't be getting blessed. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, whenever I get this good feeling, it's just me in my opinion. Whenever I get a good feeling, and need I remind you, God gave us a good feeling for a reason. If it feel wrong in my spirit, I'm not going with it. I'm not vouching. I don't care what that pastor or anybody say, that whatever they saying I'm supposed to do. If it's wrong in my spirit, in my gut, it's wrong. I'm not rolling with it. Because like I say all the time, I have a personal relationship with God. I talk to God on my own. I don't need to go to a man who I barely know to tell him to talk to God for me. And I go back to him, what God say? Is I'm going to be blessed? And he tell me I'm blessed or whatever. When I could just go straight to the source myself. When I talk to God myself. That's just me. That's my spirit. I'm spiritual. I don't need a man to talk to God for me. Not trying to knock pastor hustles. I know there's some good pastors out here, but I'm just speaking for me. Because it's a lot of pastors putting dirt on the good pastors, you know what I'm saying? And in the Bible, it did say, beware of false prophets. And it's looking like they are being exposed. A lot of these pastors are being exposed because they greedy, you know, controlling, greed. They want personal gains while they on this earth, but they telling you to wait for and pray, and you'll get your heaven when you die. Why I can't have mine on earth like you? You understand what I'm saying? That's just me, you know? So I just wanted to throw that out there. When I saw that woman's story, it hit me because it's right at home. This is one of my neighbors. I got a cousin that live on Robinson Road. And I passed by that church a few times back in, not, you know, I ain't been over there in a minute, so maybe about a year or so ago. And the pastor telling them to call him daddy. Pimp vibes. But this is what I want to tell y'all, man. For me, I trust God, but I don't trust that pastor. If you made it this far in the video, like the video, man. Subscribe to my channel if you're not. And as always, I'm coming back with some more flavor. And it's all good, man. It's your boy, Mean Joe Green. Love. I'm about